Good evening. Good evening, good evening. I'm still Blue Moony, fantasy writer and shy magical library in human skin. And goodness me, things are happening here. Oh, I have so much to do. And yet, I know I have so much to do, and yet I still don't seem to get very much done, no matter how hard I try to get things done. It's unfortunate. But yes, things are gonna start going mildly bonkers in the next few days. If they haven't already. Oh dear, so much to do. But yes, I'm at the moment still pressing forward as best I can with the NaNoWriMo project. I'm still unsure what's to become of it in the next few days. I mean, I know for sure that the last 3 days I cannot write on. I can't, sadly. I'll say again, I will do my best to keep writing up until the 27th, but I'm not sure. And if I do, it may have to be more along the lines of what I'm intending to do tonight, which is taking the notes that I snatched time to write today and moving them over into my word count. I know I said at the beginning I didn't want to do any writing for this, not while streaming, but yes, circumstances change. Oh, how they change. So swiftly, so suddenly. But yes, there was a car ride today, and I used that to write a few notes. I couldn't take very many because I do tend to get, rather ill feelings in moving vehicles when I'm trying to do anything involving reading or writing. It's not helpful, but I got a few notes down, and then I dashed down a few more after I managed to get the small one to bed. So the plan is, yes, I will move these notes across into Scrivener. I will take you through them. We'll go through them. I did think of a few quite important adjustments I'm going to have to make to things that we have previously written. The story is rewriting itself as we go, which I suppose that makes it a good thing that I haven't spent too much effort and energy trying to craft it into something lovely and readable on the first pass. Just so much is going to change. I think I'm cutting an entire character, which is okay because we've added 2 more, which I think are much more helpful to the story, and it's, until this point, chronic lack of subplots. We're doing a little better so far as subplots go now. I don't know if I've explained many of them clearly, but yes, there's that one with new friend Henya, and that's with Liot, and there's everything that'll be going on with Quick and Min, and Quick will be quite important. The end game of the first book and the beginning of the second one. And I won't say anything else after that. Hopefully you won't read anything too ominous from that. We like Quick. Of course we like Quick, and that means he's going to suffer. We know that very well. Is it just lovely young men with names that end in C that I'm truly tormenting? I suppose Liot as well, poor kid. Anyway, yes, names ending in C tend to be fairly popular, it seems, in this world, at least with the more traditionally masculine folk. There's Brioc, and there's Quick, and there's a few more in my list that I may wind up using. I may lean towards names that end in C now if I'm just looking for a random name for masculine leaning folk, because yes, I think that there's just tiny little bits to help deepen the world. having common name endings, common names. Small things can help. Anyway, let's have a quick jump over and look at our stats and see how we're starting off today. Tonight. Today. Here we are. So we are currently at 82%. And for us right now, that means 40,900 words out of the 50,000. So it would be so lovely to reach the 50,000, but given everything that's going on, I can't hold myself to it. It's just not sensible. So, oh yes, additionally, I've been having this interesting headache all day, which I'm guessing is stress related, possibly also due to lack of sleep. But just, the occasional quite sharp pulse in the temple, just letting me know it's there. At least it's not, ongoing. Oh dear. Let's just go over here where it's a little easier to see things. Oh, look how happy our writing was that day. I think that's the day we got about over 4,000 words done. It's one of a few days that we managed to get 2 writing sessions done. I'd wanted to do that every Thursday, but yes, things don't always pan out. We do our best with what we have. So I'm pretty sure the notes I've taken today won't take us all the way to par, but they'll get us some of the way, and I'll see what else I can do. Oh dear. Okay, let's bring up Scrivener and have a look. Well, first of all, let's take away... Oh, no, you can't see it yet. I can fix that. There we go. Lovely. So, let's do this. And let's change it as adjustments. That's to add throughout. I think I just need to make a new one, just for my peace of mind. What are you doing down there? I want you up here. Up here. Thank you. Oh dear. Instead of changements / adjustments, it will be additions / changes / adjustments. Oh dear. Okay, so let me grab these notes. I might just grab them all at once and bring them across, and then we can go through them. Whoa dear. Stop it. Sorry. Arguing with the highlighting. Okay. I hope it's okay that I'm doing this. I am exhausted. And it is writing that I did today for this story, so I'm just going to overlook my only write while streaming rule. It's, a bit much right now. Let's do that. So that'll give us just over 900 words, so that's useful. Okay. Oh, well, we'll cut that out. That'll take out a word or two. There we go. And we've also got to make this easier to read. Let's bring that up to size 14 for now. Okay. So, you know how I had originally written it? So after Liot's first meeting with his guardian, he sort of finds his motivation. He realizes, I might be able to see Min again, and gets the confirmation from his personal assistant that if he reaches the top 10% or even better, the top 5% of his cohort, he can pretty much ask for anything. And yes, but I've decided that was only a week, I think, after he got there. I think we need a lot more time before he sort of finds his motivation. I think we need to see him floundering and suffering for longer. Having a lot of trouble. And yes, so I think the way we'll do it is we'll still have his guardian meeting at the end of the first week. And then I think there's probably mandatory meetings with guardians once a month at least. I think most would meet with them more, but Liot's guardian wants as little to do with him as possible. Yes, I'll probably brush over the meeting at the month time benchmark, time stamp. That'll do. Timestamp will work. Brush over that. And yes, here we go. So during that 2 months. During that 2 months. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to end the first Guardian meeting now. Do I need to sort of tone down what he says there? Probably not, because he's already said it during the show where he wound up with Liot. So I think what we'll have to do is later on we'll just have to worsen what he says, make it even worse. But I will need to change what Liot's personal assistant says, because that discussion there between Liot and his personal assistant will have to happen 2 months later. Sorry, we've still got the background music playing. Let's get the rain going. There we go. There we go. Okay. So yes, during these 2 months, I think I'll be able to take some of the stuff that I just tried to slot in a hurry in the first week, and I can spread it out over 2 months. I can make that first week a little simpler. More focus on being the beginning. You know, I keep wanting to put trying to fit him, but Liot's not really trying too hard. He's just not in the place. In the beginning, so other kids fitting in. DC, Liot with Valaya, etc. It'd still be a bit with classes and everything, but not quite as many disasters probably. And I think we'll definitely move the talks with some teachers who've seen him struggling or who are disappointed with him. Because yes, I think 1 week is asking too much. I mean, I suppose given his fate, maybe they would be, expecting a lot of him, but maybe I need to find a new way to show that. Interventions at this point. Yeah, and this will also give us more of a chance, I think, to get to know bits and pieces more about Henya and Lalaya. Also more for Henya's family fate subplot. Because, yeah, we're going to have to slot this in bits and pieces. I don't think there'd be any sort of chapters devoted to it or anything. It would just be, yeah, woven through. Already talked about the meetings. Yes, so throughout the 2 months, Leot will be, having lots of meetings and sessions with his various team members that we know of, the stylists and personal tutors. I think all the personal tutors will sort of be part of their teams. And, his personal trainer who'll take over his solo sort of gym stuff. I suppose they just get in as many individual tutors as they need, but would start off with probably 1 or 2 general ones. I don't think they were in the original list of team member positions, so maybe 2 to 3 possible tutors can get more in for specialties. More in when it starts to specialize more. Sword. I kind of want Leot to go the sort of more traditional route for chosen ones, chosen primes in particular, like, they're going all out. So the fighting arts, because that's really big and popular. These sort of idle singing, dancing stuff. Not everyone does it in the cohorts, but those who do tend to get a lot more attention. I'm almost interested to even put debate down as a specialty for him, which might seem odd, but, chosen ones do tend to sort of go down politics paths as well. And I think a while ago we have talked about the fact that Leot might be pretty good at persuading people, or he's a strategist at least, so that could work there. There might even be a specific strategy stuff, because he's already got that with his cards, but if he starts training in other sort of strategy games to work on that. Oh dear, not really what we're meant to be talking about right now, but yes, so he's having all of these meetings and classes with his personal tutors and other members, trying to help him decide what directions to take, given his guardians giving 0 input and told them to just, turn him into chosen prime and then present him to him pretty much. Yeah, doesn't believe it's possible. But yes, we are trying to have all these meetings, but being in such a bad place that I think his personal system will sort of stop the meetings for a while and say, let's work on you first. Okay. So another thing to sort of spread throughout the first 2 months is, I think there will be a fair amount of bullying. Initially the "you don't belong here" stuff that, happens to pretty much all the inner city kids. It probably doesn't last with Leot for as long as it does with the others. This sort of bullying. That's as long as it takes them to find their place. But Liot's situation is different because he's got such high fate levels. It's difficult to sort of maintain the, you don't belong here thing. But I imagine when he doesn't improve immediately. We'll swap to similar to what his guardian's been saying from the beginning. All the fate in the universe can't save you, it's wasted on you. All of that. Probably not just verbal bullying. Nasty tricks, etc. Maybe. I don't think there'd be sort of, lowbrow, sort of, bucket of water on top of the door sort of thing. I think that would be very well thought out, long-term, clever, nasty tricks. I'll have to think on that. Maybe just have one like that woven through these 2 months. Although these 2 months probably won't go more than a few chapters. Yes, I think, we need more time to sort of show that this is pretty hellish for Liot. And I've got here, it would have been completely awful if it wasn't for Henya, and Liot feeling a little bad that he doesn't feel the same about Lolaya. There's lots of good things about her, but also a lot of things that just make him feel really uncomfortable and unhappy. He has a hard time articulating this. Possibly talk to Henya about it. I don't think he'd be able to at this point. Possibly try to talk to Henya about it, but can't quite do it. Keep in mind as well, this 2 months, we're not going to have any Trouse stuff. We may have some Trouse chapters on their own, but he and Liot haven't met yet. Yes, I was wondering whether there's some sort of silly game among cohort kids that, the universe works to protect those with the highest fates, and, it's really, I keep saying sorry. It's some kind of urban legend, I guess, along those lines, that true chosen ones are almost immune to harm. And the game is to throw things at people's faces, nothing dangerous at this point. Usually. And that the universe should intervene, not necessarily, just making it swoop to the side or anything, but have a random person who's not paying attention walk in front, or I don't know, someone else has thrown something that hits it in midair and changes its course, or it hits a drone or something. People want to see that the flying object just curve of its own accord. I should add the person being thrown at is not allowed to move. So I've got, Lalaya playing this game with some of her other friends. Liot not playing and not wanting to play, but, people trying to force him into it and, possibly threatening with a much more dangerous object. Something heavy. Fate as high as yours. No way will it make contact, etc. I think Henya steps in here and says, you can throw it at her. Definitely won't kill anyone who hits me. No one is game to do it. Possibly because Henya's fate is so low. Of course it'll hit her. But of course, yeah. I think despite her low fate, most people are quite wary of her. And I don't think it's because of her mother. At least not entirely because of her mother. It's not going to be a majority of kids in the cohort getting out a hard time. Most are pretty preoccupied with themselves, their stress, etc. So yeah, it's a bit of a bit. I'm not sure what to put here. A bit that Lalaya is quite close friends with people who do give Liot a hard time. But it's mainly the same to many kids who I might have named in writing, but I forgot to make a note of it, which was not very intelligent on my part. Possibly a few nearby kids studying. Speak up, tell them to lay off the art. But, get some snark back towards him, mind own business, etc. I should probably go into a bit more what I've brushed on it, but possibly some more detail as to Liot's relationship with other inner city recruits. Okay, so we're up to the mandatory meeting with the Guardian. Not Jean, game. So this will be at the end of the second month. And he can sort of bring up the game. Heard it was being played today or something. Or mention game, have you played it? Would Liot try to answer? Because at this point he is, he's quite scared of his Guardian, but possibly still, he's got to try to make a better impression if anything's going to improve. I don't think he's sort of resigned that nothing's ever going to get better. And Guardian can go on about how he used to play, missed him every time sort of thing. Examples of what happened. Maybe he can swear that, one time it just swooped out of the way. Or, I don't know, maybe he can say one time someone threw it at him when he wasn't looking, just to see what would happen. I think Liot can just have the random thought then that, whoever threw it probably just doesn't have very good aim. And then, the horror as if the Guardian could read his thoughts. Most conversations Liot has with his Guardian almost completely one-sided, but I think he brought up this game specifically so it can lead into him grabbing something from his desk, like some kind of ornamental trophy of memorabilia, and just hurling it at Liot's face. Yeah, really top-notch gentleman, this guy, isn't he? And poor Liot, he can't move out of the way because he can't quite process that it's happening, and he just can't believe it. And even if he could have processed it, he might not have gotten out of the way because his Guardian moves so fast. I just didn't think he'd ever seen anyone move so quickly, at least not in person. And, possibly it's about Guardian's past as chosen prime. Chosen primes really in another league. How could Liot ever measure up, etc.? And all of these thoughts happening in the space of the object leaving his Guardian's hand and its short flight. I'm thinking it probably breaks Liot's nose, and he would react as any poor person would have who's had their nose broken on purpose by someone throwing something at their face. I think his PA would come in pretty quickly and try to look after him. Guardian expression would not shift, I imagine. Just say, I guess the universe isn't on your side yet. Let me know. Sorry. Terrible person. I invented him. Oh dear. And yes, so we'd probably know about it before this point. Just in any detail, I just gotta throw before third meeting with Guardian. The end of 2 months. Need to know about upcoming dinner party. I'll go into more with that later. Yes, I thought of another event, and this one would be really good to lead into, that line from the personal assistant, which I think will be very important for Liot, which is, will make them wish they'd fought for you. I still sort of want Liot's slight awakening moment with the sword the first time he meets his Guardian. But, he's not really able to do anything with that yet. I'm not sure if he'll even mention it until later. Possibly wanting to mention it to his personal trainer that's the direction he'd like to take. possibly just sort of gets decided without Liot saying anything that they should start along that path, because it's a good general, powerful chosen one path is to study the sword. So I guess that would be one thing for Liot to get happy about in the 2 months. I think I need to throw that in. Have him doing it for now, at least, until he changes his mind, because he has to put in electives. Put something. Here we are. So yes, universe isn't on your side yet, so let me know. And personal assistant would take Liot for treatment. There'd be a medical centre probably in the cohort building. For anything really serious, they'd probably have to go to a full-on hospital. I imagine there's just one, since the cities aren't huge. Just one really big, really good hospital there. But there is the medical centre in the cohort building. So it's probably this moment that makes Liot absolutely terrified of his guardian, which I think that terror will remain even after he gets his sort of motivation soon after. It'll take a while for him to sort of not be absolutely terrified of his guardian, understandably. So yes, I've got a few notes about, the tape put over his nose to help it heal. The slight weight to it and coolness suggests it's more than normal, simple tape. Okay, but the cohort dinners. I mean, just for convenience for me at the moment, I'm saying it's roughly 2 months after there's a new cohort or new additions come in, which sort of works anyway, because that gives the kids a bit of time to settle and to pick their directions as such. So by the time of the dinner, all the kids sort of have to have their electives locked in. It is possible to change them, but it probably takes a little bit to change them. You can probably keep adding more and more on, but I guess once you start one, they don't really like you to stop. But yes, so it's for the chosen kids, their guardians, the director, possibly other family members, or at the very least, if someone has a parent or a family member as their guardian, another one might be allowed to come, another family member. Yes. So of course it's all televised, or whatever the term will be. I think I need a better word than drones for these little cameras. I want them sort of, maybe like a combination between beetles and hummingbirds. I want the sound they make to be not unpleasant. I want it to be quite a lovely sound. Very, very quiet, but lovely. Unless there's a huge group together. Just be a whir. There's a lot of them here, but they're scattered around. The sound is not concentrated. I think Trouse will probably hate the sound. Like, particularly when there's a large group of them, but he's just... Possibly he's very attuned to it as well, so he might be very good at avoiding them. Or hunting them down to kick them out of a room. But I suppose he can't kick them out too obviously, that would draw attention, so just... Looks like he very casually, accidentally closes drones out of a room or something. Yes, so this dinner, it'll be a good chance to show the fanciest sort of food in the upper cities. Also, more for showing the dynamics between the Laia and Henya and their families. And, you know, their family lives shape how they behave quite a lot, so that's important. Also, we'll get a bit more with their director, who we haven't had much with. I don't know what the director's role will be in the second book and into Endgame. I don't think she's with the Resistance. But I think she could possibly understand where they're coming from. But, you know, loyalty to the city sort of thing. I don't know, I'll have to think about that. Possibly the director's one of those ones just seems very sensible, but just the total blind loyalty to a terrible thing without even realizing. That might work. We'll possibly also see the enemy kids in their families. I feel so bad calling them enemy kids. Oh dear. It's got to at least give them names, and it's okay. They will have more personality than does not like Liot. But we'll get to see more of them. Well, we'll see more of their darker sides during those 2 months when Liot's having a hell of a time. But after he sort of figures out what he wants and knows how to get there, he just sort of goes for it. And yes, we know he realizes he's actually pretty good at most of this stuff. He'd just sort of never let himself be good at it, or never thought it was possible. And his brain sort of kept him from excelling. But now that his brain is pointed in a more useful direction, that helps. Yes, but during the dinner, I need something to happen. Nothing like, you know, a food fight or anything like that. But something to further cement the Guardians' dislike for Liot. And I also want, you know, there to be general talk, general conversation among the Guardians. And just talking about Liot and how, you know, he's not very impressive. I think possibly during this point, Liot can start to feel the anger here again, which would frighten him, because it's, you know, does not want to get angry because that will draw attention and cause problems, and yeah. Because I think in his original first meeting and throughout that first week, and then it'll be the first 2 months now because we're stretching that out, Liot feeling the anger that everyone's sort of expecting him to be amazing straight away, and he's only been there for a short time. You know, they're not even giving him a chance. So angry that they're not giving him a chance, but also confused that he's angry that they're not giving him a chance. he doesn't want to be there, etc. But maybe he's starting to maybe kind of want to be there. I don't know. A few things to confuse the kids some more. And yes, I think a couple of the guardians will not be on the side exactly, but be sensible about it and say, it's been 2 months. We just sort of dragged him out of the inner city and plonked him in here and expecting him to be a genius at everything just because of his fate levels, Gotta give him a chance. But everyone else is pretty much just writing him off. Just an aberration, I had a note somewhere about people making a joke about being in the presence of the future chosen prime sort of thing, and everyone thinking it's ridiculous. But yes, Leot needs some recovery time after this dinner, understandably, and I've got, Henya and Lalaya trying to talk to him, look after him. Leot needing space, Henya picking up on that fairly quickly, but Lalaya not, and Lalaya not picking up on Henya's hints that they should clear out for a while. And this is probably a good point for Leot to show a bit of a flash of temper. I suppose I don't want the point where he loses it really badly later on to be the, completely out of the blue. We need some sort of precedent, I guess. But Leot has a bit of a temper. He's just never let himself let out, which I suppose in many situations that's a good thing, but in this, it was so repressed he didn't even know he had a temper. That's probably why it scares him so much. Thinking he doesn't know himself at all. But yes, he apologizes for, raising his voice. They leave, and his personal assistant leaving, and this is where we can have the "don't worry, we'll make them wish they'd fought for you." That seems a much more poignant place to put it. It's not just the guardian, then it's, everyone who could have had him as their ward, as well as every other guardian. All of them will wish they'd fought for you. Yeah, so we can have Leot on his own afterwards, and pretty much thoughts just settling on he needs Min. And this can be where he sort of realizes maybe he has more power than he thought. With this level of fate, doesn't he have some sort of sway with people who make decisions? That's the way this world works. Can he use it? That. Possibly will also show, a bit more of his critical thinking and strategy just coming out here. Maybe it's a little bit of an odd place for it to happen when he's so stressed, but maybe, thinking of Min initially, distressed, but then calming down, thinking about how Min could handle situations. And then not handling it like Min, but handling it like himself. That would never work, what Min would try to do. Okay, and so after he realizes all of this, he can call his personal assistant, who, in his excitement, did not realize would be asleep. It comes super quickly. Impeccable, but, hiding a yawn. Poor thing. And here we can have the question, if I become chosen prime, can I see my sister again? And then the reassurance that it doesn't have to even go that far, just top 10% or even better, top 5. Okay, so that's sort of fixing up how Liot's going to work for a while. So not only some of the stuff we've written, it's going into some stuff that we have yet to write, but should work there. Moving back to Min briefly, I think having the 2 months with Liot there will really work quite well, because that way we can have the same amount of time passed with Min with the sort of nice testing. She gets to learn, she gets to read, she gets to do interesting things. Just, nice thoughts of maybe she'd always wanted to try the trumpet, so now she's just able to honk away however she wants. Might throw that down as a bit of a silly, not necessarily trumpet, but working instrument. Trumpet. Honk away to her heart's desire. Excited about the fact that she's terrible, sort of thing. Excuse me, sorry. So very tired. When I'm finished up, I've got quite a lot of household chores I should probably take care of. I don't think I can do any proper preparation for the big things that are happening. I think daylight might be required. Oh dear. So tired. I'm so sorry. Oh, look, we have been increasing our count quite a lot, just adding notes as we go. Oh dear. But yes, the 2 months for Liot will probably take longer, in the story than it will with Min, because her lovely time learning and such isn't really vital to the story, at least not in any detail. We just need to know it's happening and that it's sort of not doing anything to her fate levels. So we just brush on, just sort of talk about what's going on, and then just show some time passing by conversations with, what do we call her? Jansa. With researcher Jansa. And, her just sort of explaining what they're hoping. What they're hoping to find, and then that they're not finding anything. And lack of results. And then possibly the last time, you see Jansa, she's quite concerned. Possibly not here, exactly here, but, well, she might not name her, but to steer this project in another direction. I'm not impressed with me, EDC, and Min will probably try to be encouraging of her. Make a few suggestions, probably none very sensible. Even though she is quite sensible, maybe this is one of her ridiculous traits. She just, lots of ideas and all of them reasonably ridiculous. Full of useless ideas. Yeah, so it should probably be very sudden that Jansa's no longer there. At the end of a chapter, Jansa is no longer there. her first class of the day. Tutor doesn't come. Quick sent him to escort her to labs. Here, reintroduced. I don't know if we would have had her mentioned by name, and we met her already. She was on the sort of panel that was interrogating men as new leader of the project. Brief into Min's immediate impression at what his expression would mean for her, and none of it was good. And the sort of vaguely stereotypical brisk, we have work to do sort of thing. And then cut to next chapter. That's how it'll work, hopefully. Okay, so this is a big change. I'm wondering whether we should remove Grands as a character. I mean, it seems a little harsh to say that they're not adding much to the story, but I just think a lot of their sort of traits might work better if we combined them with Min. And then if Grands isn't there, it just naturally increases Min and Liot's relationship and need for each other sort of thing. In a mean way, taking away adult support. But if Min was sort of already acting as Liot's primary carer, it's an even bigger deal then when it seems she's going to have to move out of the neighborhood, but Liot would have to stay there. But I thought if Min's the one who occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally places bets, and she was the one who took the money to do that, possibly we can have her finding the money under the flower pot when she knocked it over in the first chapter, or second chapter, wherever it is, with the moth butterfly. If she finds it there and maybe thought that she put it there for a rainy day or something, but can't quite remember. I don't think we're having her as, with an incredibly bad memory, but a little absent-minded, I think would work for her. So, doesn't, it's all the time. So yes, if we remove Grands, that's one more character we don't have to build up relationships with. It could enhance Min and Liot's relationship in ways that will be useful for this story, given, we don't have much time with them together right at the beginning, so we need to sort of establish them really quickly. And yeah, I'm just worrying that Grands doesn't really help with that. Also, we're able to take out the arrested for unsanctioned skilling, and we can sort of increase Liot's fear about Min's unsanctioned skilling. I never did sort of get that down pat in the earlier chapters, did I? It was quite complicated, so that's something I'll definitely have to work on when I go back to the beginning. Just why Min is sort of going to the libraries to read, when, you know, semi-curfew, and they're books that she's not allowed to read. And why she's sort of okay with doing that. You know, when I think she just is very much of the mind that no one really cares, I guess. Which is, I guess, the mindset that Grans had, and can sort of explain Citra's frustration with Min. That yes, they will care, and if you're going to get in trouble, it should be about something important. I guess, and you know, there's a lot of that tonight. Probably because I'm tired. I might just try to get that down here to see if we can get it simpler. And again here maybe, so that to advantage. And you know, honestly, I don't think she is really doing it with the hopes that she's going to boost her fate anymore. Maybe originally, but not now. She just wants to read. You know, still the tiny hopes floating around, but nothing realistic. Not stupid. And so yes, moving back to the bet, you know, when it initially comes up, Leotz calms down a little bit because he's sure Min would have bet on Trouse, who wins everything. So it means they'll get their money back and a tiny bit more, and everything else helps. Min saying, no, he's not competing today, bet on this guy. And he's the long shot, which can upset Leot. Yes, so when she refuses to, when she turns down the offer to hang out at the cliffs, we originally had it to just go home to meet Leot, but she's got some jobs to do first to check her bet, and she finds she had a big win, she gets the money, you know, probably most money ever had, ever. You know, super happy Min can go on a bit of a shopping spree, so we can show the shopping situation, facilities in the neighborhood. You can get Leot his boots, get all the stuff for the big meal and ingredients to make treats. So I think we can change that to you know, after our tests we can make some treats together, we can splurge and get something, and you know, Leot can probably say we do not have the money to splurge, but possibly they already had some ingredients, but yeah, I think they would have already had ingredients. That'll be fine. Oh, excuse me. But you know, she can bake them waiting for him to get home, but then he does not come home. Another big important thing we're originally having when Min will have to move down in the world and Liot's moving up. She was worried about who would look after Grans and see if Grans could move in with some friends or neighbours. Or she can do the same thing with Liot. She can arrange for a next door neighbour who can sort of fill the Grans role, I guess. We can have this person sort of looking in on them every now and then. And seeing if Liot can move in with them. You know, 12-year-olds who wind up on their own will probably just be expected to live on their own and look after themselves. But, you know, Liot wouldn't be able to cover the rent. So, yes. Sorry, I just knocked my microphone. I hope that didn't hurt you at all. So, those are the notes for today. A few quite important things, I think. But yes, there's going to have to be so much rewriting and rearranging. So I am kind of glad that we did not go all out trying to get everything beautiful and readable. Well, not necessarily beautiful, but spend the time to craft sentences from the beginning, because they all need to be pulled apart, and that would possibly be painful if I liked how they came out. Okay, well, I'm probably going to call it there tonight. I'm sorry tonight was a little bit different. Hopefully not boring as such, but yes, we went through all the notes I took today, which was a lot. Added a bunch more as we went. I don't think there's a problem with that, or I hope there's not. So let's just check the project target. I think I might have taken a few notes last night after we finished. I can't quite remember, so I think I need to check this just in case. 43,030. Update progress. Let's show you this. Okay, so we did 2,130 words today. I'm not going to be too irritated with myself that I didn't take all of those notes while streaming. Yes, we need to get the words down if we're going to have any chance of getting to the 50,000. And I'm already writing in note form anyway. I suppose I just can't get over the feeling that some people would not consider this in the spirit of NaNoWriMo, but I need to be kind to myself. Here we go, that'll do. So it'll be done on the 27th. Well, I hope so. Oh dear. Still have quite a lot of... Need to have a few more big days to get done. Oh well. That will indeed do it for tonight. So thank you so much for being with me, dealing with my stress. Hopefully it's not ridiculously obvious how stressed I am, apart from when I just say it. I'm stressed. Oh dear. So yes, thank you. Can't really think of the plan for tomorrow. It may wind up being notes. I may pick a random chapter and just try to outline that one in ridiculous detail. We'll just see what happens. We'll go with what the title for this one is. What tomorrow may bring. I don't know what it is. Hopefully it's a few words at the very least. Keep moving forward no matter how we're moving forward. I should have some more painkillers for this headache. That would be a sensible step to take in the whole, hopefully getting a few more useful things done tonight thing. In any case, good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I hope the rest of your day is absolutely lovely, because that is indeed what you deserve. Let's sing these few verses of the Parting Glass. I again promise I will learn the song eventually. Let's sing. Of all the money that e'er I had, I have spent it in good company. Oh, and all the harm I've ever done, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night, and joy be to you all. Until tomorrow, hopefully.